Our next question is to Mr. Knopf also. As mayor, will you support the creation of a non-elected port authority for the city of Findlay and Hancock County? Why or why not?
It's my understanding that a port authority would really be in charge of helping businesses come to Hancock County and Findlay for that matter. Though what I don't know is how far will their span go? What would be their what would be their duties? What would their span of responsibility be? I'd like to have those questions answered from whoever's directing this in city government before I would actually say yes, I would support it, or no, I wouldn't. But considering that one of its main goals is to attract businesses in and help facilitate getting them in, then just based on that, I would have to be in favor of a port authority.
Thank you, Mr. Senator. Same question. As the mayor, would you support the creation of a non-elected port authority for the city of Findlay and Hancock County? Why or why not?
Well, port authorities are a good economic development tool. A lot of larger cities have them. Of course, New York City's got a most famous port authority. Locally, Toledo has a port authority. It's the oldest port authority in the state. I'm not against a port authority, but there's some questions I have as to what its function would be in our community. I'm not totally sold that we need a port authority here in Hancock County yet, or the city of Findlay. If it can bring quality jobs to the city, lower the taxes, and not cost the city anything, I think it's something to look at. But I'm not totally against it, but I just don't think at the present time. I have some questions that I would want answered first before I definitely supported the Port Authority.
Here's an online question first directed to Mr. Sehnert, and obviously coming from one of our younger citizens. What would you do to get young people of this community a place where they can go to dance and hang out?
Well, I don't know if that's actually the city's responsibility. I remember when I was younger, we had a teen center, and the old Anchor Center, you probably just read in the paper that they're going to dispose of because of flood damage. I'm not against providing or having entertainment for the young people. If we could provide something for them, they're not out there doing things that they shouldn't be doing. But I'm not sure exactly what the city could do to provide those services, actually.
Mr. Knopf, same question. What would or should the city do to encourage young people in the community and provide a place where they can meet and gather?
Well, I think the city should take an interest in providing some sort of entertainment opportunities for the young adults and students who are in the area. I remember growing up myself thinking how dull Findlay was because there was nothing to do. When I was in high school, the most excitement I had was probably Friday night football games and then going downtown to go cruise. One idea that a friend of mine had a number of years ago was when Lowe's created their new building on Bright Road next to Walmart, and they left the old one there. We thought it would be a good idea to take that existing structure and create it into a teen center. You could have indoor, an indoor skate park, arcade, batting cages. Untold number of things could have been located in that, and it would have been all geared towards the youth of Findlay. It would have been a place that parents can drop off their kids on a Saturday night while they go out to a nice dinner. I think that it's worthwhile to at least look into the possibility of giving something for the kids of the community to do something.
Our next question starts with Mr. Knopf too. And it is, should the city support the proposed Findlay Town Center project? Why?
The Brandman dump site?
Yes.
That's what it's being called? Okay. Mm-hmm. Personally, no. I would not support, at this time, any development in that area, if just for the simple fact that it's in a floodplain. I think you really have to solve the flooding issue here in Findlay first before you can allow any development that might hinder, or hurt anyone else, because they have to build up their property up to code, which means it won't flood. And you also have to question, why do we need more retail space when you can go down Tiffin Avenue, when you can go down, out west on by the new Walmart, or go downtown and see all these empty storefronts? Why do we need another area to put in shops when there's plenty of places throughout the town already, for them to go into? Another part of the project that I heard was a new library. My question is the library able to raise those funds to pay for that, or is it going to be expected of the taxpayers to foot the bill? There's a lot of questions that aren't being answered, neither by the developer or by the city government right now, that would satisfy me and for me to give my approval for that. So I would have to say right now, no, I would be against any development for that area.
Mr. Senator, the same question. Should the city support the proposed Findlay Town Center project, and why?
Well, I don't think it's been any secret about how I feel about the Brannaman. I can remember as a young man going with my father to dump stuff in that area. And the city, working for the city for 26 years, we've had a city building down there. It's not long after it was built, it started cracking and sinking. I think there's a lot of questions that need to be answered before I would think of any support of that development. At the last council meeting, there was the developer was there and gave his side, but being a police officer for 26 years, I know there's two sides to every story. And I know that I'd like to hear from the developer. I think we need to have a meeting with all the council people present and neighbors who that area is going to impact present, so we can hear from the developer certain questions. I also would like to hear from people that don't have an interest in it, like the Army Corps of Engineers. What impact is development going to have in that area? I'd like to hear from the people that did the ground testing to make sure that they can tell me for sure that in 3 years we're not going to be getting calls to the mayor's office saying, I got this black stuff oozing up in my yard. My kids have a rash. I don't know where it's coming from. I want to hear from the person that did the traffic survey to how's the traffic going to flow in and out of this complex. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and I don't think we can just go off and look at $13 million impact to our community. There's a lot of questions that, like I said, need to be answered, and I think that once those buildings are built, they're there for good.